Mr. Speaker, they are laughing the same way they all laughed during the budget when they talked about raising NI. They have no idea what people out there are dealing with. And that is why yesterday we voted against his damaging jobs tax. Even former supporters, Chef Tom Kerridge, who endorsed Labour at the election, said that the budget was catastrophic. He built a real business employing young people, unlike his cabinet of trade union stooges, CV embellishers, and an actual fraudster. None of them have ever run a business.
Kemi Badenoch produced torment for Keir Starmer and the Labour Party in the House of Commons once Starmer assumed the role of Prime Minister. She refused to let any moment slip without disgracing Starmer and his cabinet colleagues. Moreover, her remarks held not only substance, but force that drove Starmer to conceal his face beneath the desks.
Payments. Across England, councils are scrabbling together funds for struggling pensioners. The tragic reality this Christmas is pensioners will suffer and may even die as a result of this cruel policy. Did the Chancellor consider the impact on councils and on the NHS, or does she just not know what she's doing?
Badenoch understood which nerve to strike, and which exact phrase to deliver that would cause Starmer to perspire and his cabinet to feel ashamed before all. Yet what are her most notable declarations and instances where she pushed the Labour Party to the brink, stirring pressure and uncovering
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister needs to misrepresent me to make his point. I don't need to misrepresent him to make my point. Yes. No.
In this video, let's uncover the truth. On the very first day of holding the role of opposition leader, Kemi Badenoch proved she was the rival not to be trifled with. She began by unleashing a revelation about the Labour Party's duplicity. She forced every Labour MP to face what Labour's Foreign Secretary had declared about Donald Trump. David Lammy had branded the US president a neo-Nazi supporter and a danger to the global system. Those remarks weren't merely careless, but they were also politically perilous, since Lammy never believed Trump would rise as the next US president.
The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary met him in September. Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologise for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologise, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf? Will the Prime Minister show that he and his government can be more than student politicians by asking you, Mr. Speaker, to extend an invitation to President Trump to address Parliament on his...
Badenoch skillfully drove the blade deeper, pushing Starmer to account for this foreign policy mistake. The chamber grew heavy as Starmer faltered to gain balance, clearly uneasy beneath the burden of his own party's inconsistencies. Badenoch unmasked the Labour Party, showing that the group which once backed excluding Trump from Parliament now confronts doubts over whether Starmer will welcome him to speak in the UK.
We live in probably a more volatile world than we've lived in for many decades. It is absolutely crucial that we have a strong relationship, that strong special relationship forged in difficult circumstances between the US and the UK. We will continue to work, as we have done in the 4 months in government, on issues of security, our economy and global conflict.
Mr. Speaker, he does not answer the questions, just read the lines the officials have prepared for him. It doesn't sound like he wants to invite President-elect Trump to Parliament. He needs to look after the special relationship. The US is our single biggest trade partner. Given the risk of increased tariffs on UK exports, which threaten our manufacturing sector, will the Prime Minister commit now to continue the negotiations on our free trade agreement with the US, which the Biden administration cancelled when they...
But it's the economy where Starmer has suffered serious setbacks. Badenoch struck Starmer with a pointed inquiry. How will Labour finance its grand pledges without driving local councils into fiscal turmoil? The Prime Minister, as expected, leaned on hollow slogans about repairing the base, yet his remarks lacked the depth required to silence critics. Badenoch further unmasked the Labour Party for attempting to impose the same programs in Britain as crafted by the Biden administration. This also showed that Starmer was closely tied to the Biden team and could struggle to build the same relationship with Donald Trump.
Defense. The Chancellor's budget last week was a copy and paste of Bidenomics. It turns out that a high spending, high borrowing, high inflation approach is less popular than she may have thought. May I suggest he now urge her to change course, or is he determined? Mr. Speaker, I was the one who raised the minimum wage last year as Business Secretary. I have a strong record on this, but we need to make sure that we balance the books. His scripted lines are showing that he has not even listened to the budget himself. So I will try a different question. Perhaps he can give something that is unscripted to the people watching. Farmers across the United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Badenoch knows how to effortlessly leave Starmer unsettled while maintaining her own calm. Then Badenoch directed attention toward the government, neglecting the core of the country, showing that Labour's plans have abandoned farmers and small enterprises. Starmer's efforts to defend his budget collapsed, yet the strain did not stop there. What Badenoch unveiled next was certain to make you doubt Labour's priorities.
Mr. Speaker, I was the one who raised the minimum wage last year as business secretary. I have a strong record on this, but we need to make sure that we balance the books. His scripted lines are showing that he has not even listened to the budget himself. So I will try a different question. Perhaps he can give something that is unscripted to the people watching. Farmers across the United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Order! I don't need any help. Can I just say, if somebody wants to leave, I'll be helping them do that. I'm going to hear the question, and I certainly want to hear the answer as well. So please, let's have some courtesy.
Mr. Speaker, we have heard him repeat the lines on the television, fixing the foundations and so on. But what does he say over and over again? But what does he say to farmers who are facing uncertainty about their futures as a result of the increased taxes announced by the Chancellor? I am very clear that we would reverse Labour's cruel family farms tax. What can he say now to reassure the farming community who provide security for the whole?
That's when Badenoch pressed in on Starmer, charging him with leaning on rehearsed cliches instead of confronting genuine problems before moving forward. Tell us, are you enjoying this video? If so, please like and share it, and subscribe to our channel for more exclusive content on the transformative shifts shaping British politics. Let's carry on. Badenoch laid bare his weakness in tackling difficult questions and stressed how his empty assurances failed to become practical measures. With every phrase, she forced the Prime Minister deeper onto the defensive, leaving the chamber to wonder whether Starmer could truly meet the challenge or if his leadership was nothing but a facade.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister can plant as many questions as is like with his backbenchers, but at the end of the day, I'm the one he has to face at the judge. None of us are against any of those things. But he has confirmed that he does not know what is going on. The Prime Minister probably does not realize that on Monday, the Ministry for Communities, Local Government and Housing revealed that councils will need to find an additional £2.4 billion in council tax next year. That's a lot more than 600 million. I know that he's been away, but did the Deputy Prime Minister, who runs that department, make him aware of their £2.4 billion? Even he has to admit that they fiddled the fiscal rules. The OBR has actually said that they don't recognise where the additional growth is going to come from. The fact is, Mr. Speaker, the rise in employers' national insurance is going to be a disaster for small businesses.
I would say this to Kelly. We inherited a very badly damaged thing. We inherited a £22 billion black hole, and we were not prepared to continue with the fiction.
Mr. Speaker, he has nothing to offer except platitudes. And the fact is that they do not know what they're doing. Their ideological budget was designed to milk the private sector and hope nobody would notice. Now his cabinet ministers are all queuing up for public sector bailouts to his tax mess. If he is going to bail out the public sector, then can he tell us this? Does he think it is appropriate, as the Ministry for Housing has done, to approve a 4-day week for councils that is not flexible working, but is actually part-time work for full-time pay?
But Badenoch didn't stop at that. She went on to disgrace Starmer and the Chancellor's double standards and failed pledges, ultimately demanding Starmer to step down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At the CBI conference on Monday, the Chancellor said, and I quote, "I'm clear, I'm not coming back with more borrowing or more taxes. I know that telling the truth to this House is important to the Prime Minister. So will he repeat his Chancellor? He's not fixing any foundations, he's making everything worse." The whole House would have heard him refuse to repeat the Chancellor's pledge, a pledge as worthless as the manifesto promises that he's talking about. If he is fixing foundations, why is it that the PMI index shows that business confidence has... Mr. Speaker, if he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Until then, I'm the one asking the questions. There's a petition out there, 2 million people asking him to go.
Yeah.
He's the one who doesn't know. He's the one who doesn't know how things work. It is not government that creates growth, Mr. Speaker.
On the call for Starmer to resign and return home as 2 million people, a number now at 3 million, are demanding new elections. Starmer was truly humiliated. He had no response whatsoever. Then Kemi Badenoch turned to immigration and credibility, exposing the record-high migration figures and Starmer's flip-flopping on visa limits. Badenoch further disclosed that Keir Starmer had signed letters years earlier actively supporting foreign offenders staying in the UK, even those guilty of brutal crimes. The chamber was stunned when Badenoch connected one of these block deportations to a murder carried out on British soil.
Mr. Speaker, he talks about open borders. He was the one campaigning for free movement. I was in this House asking for a lift on skilled migration. He was there supporting all of the people who should not have been in this country. He wanted us to relax immigration. But as he's so keen to talk about the past, let's look at his record. 4 years ago, the Prime Minister signed a letter demanding that foreign criminals be allowed to stay in Britain. Dozens of Labour and Liberal Democrat MPs repeatedly signed these letters insisting that rapists and murderers be allowed to stay here. One of those criminals, Ernesto Elliott, had 17 convictions, including for knife crime. After his deportation was blocked, Elliott went on to murder someone. He was able to stay here and murder because people like this man campaigned against deporting criminals. Will he apologize for signing these letters? Mr. Speaker, this is a ludicrous assertion. He is the one who was repeatedly signing letters. He even asked us to pause all deportations. He doesn't want to talk about his past, Mr. Speaker, but that letter is just the tip of the iceberg. There is more. The Prime Minister actually complained that the immigration system was working to deter migrants rather than provide support. He said, and I quote, that he was proud to have served as Jeremy's shadow immigration minister. He boasted that he took the last Labour government to court for cutting benefits for asylum seekers. He said he would never set a target-based approach to immigration. He wants to talk about immigration. Let's talk about his record. We can talk about it all day.
The chamber fell silent as Badenoch charged Starmer with favouring insurgents over British citizens. From defending Shamima Begum to selecting her lawyer as Attorney General, Starmer's choices faced scrutiny. Badenoch pressed for answers. Would he at last pledge to revoke citizenship from those threatening the nation, or would his contentious history speak louder than his promises?
He has scrapped a deterrent that the National Crime Agency has said we need. Since he came into government and scrapped the Rwanda deterrent, small boat arrivals have increased by nearly 20%. His own MPs are complaining about having to house asylum seekers. So can the Prime Minister tell the House how much more his government will spend on hotel accommodation because he scrapped the deterrent? Mr. Speaker, he says he wants to smash the gangs. The only thing he smashed is his own reputation. The fact is, what he has been agreeing is not going to do anything. The cost of the Iraq agreement is £500,000. That wouldn't even buy a house in his constituency. Many of the things he's taking credit for are our agreements. Let's talk about what he put in his manifesto. The Prime Minister promised to end asylum hotels. He's the Prime Minister now, he promised, but in Altrincham and Peterborough, his government is expanding the use of asylum hotels because he unilaterally disarmed the deterrent. In fact, Mr. Speaker, a man who arrived by small boat told Sky News he was happy Labour were in power. That man said the Conservatives, and I quote, wanted to deport us, but Labour are making the procedure easier for us. He argued all immigration law had a racist undercurrent. He voted against life sentences for people smugglers. He voted against more than 100 measures to control migration. He even said it was wrong. He even said, Mr. Speaker, that it was wrong when the Conservatives took away Shamima Begum's citizenship. Now he has appointed her defence lawyer as his Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, events in Syria mean we may see more small boat arrivals. For once, will he take the side of the British people and strip citizenship from jihadi terrorists and supporters of Assad who want to come back?
But Badenoch struck a significant blow when she highlighted Starmer's decision to appoint a convicted fraudster to the cabinet. This revealed that the Labour Party and Starmer were inept and ready to go to any lengths for their own gain.
He never answers any questions. And it looks like he didn't ask his Transport Secretary any questions either. The truth is, he appointed a person convicted of fraud to the cabinet. The first thing she did was bung hundreds of millions of pounds in pay rises to her trade union friends. Wasn't this a fraud on the British people?
No, Mr. Speaker, she says she's not talking about immigration. I'm not surprised. And I advise her and all of them not to talk about the economy or immigration for another 5 years.
Mr. Speaker, he can try and change the topic as much as he likes, but the public are watching. He owes them an explanation. The country needs conviction politicians, not politicians with conviction.
But when it comes to citizens, particularly pensioners, the Labour Party shows little concern. Badenoch stated that winter has turned into a struggle for many seniors as soaring energy costs and reduced winter fuel payments take their toll. She painted a bleak portrait of the government's failure to foresee the severe consequences of these cuts on councils, neighbourhoods, and the NHS. The Chamber awaited Starmer's explanation, but his reply raised more doubts than clarity.
Mr. Speaker, he didn't answer the question because he doesn't know the answer. There are 850,000 eligible pensioners not claiming pension credit. If they sign up, that will cost the Treasury £2.3 billion, wiping out the savings that the Chancellor claimed she would make. Before the election, his chief secretary told the public they had no plans to cut winter fuel. But they did have plans, didn't they? Age UK say cutting the winter fuel payment with very little notice will potentially jeopardise the health and finances of millions of old. Energy bills are increasing, despite his promise to cut them by £300. In Scotland, his party leader wants to restore the winter fuel payments. Across England, councils are scrabbling together funds for struggling pensioners. The tragic reality this Christmas is pensioners will suffer and may even die as a result of this cruel policy. Did the Chancellor consider the impact on councils and on the NHS, or does she just...
Isn't it true that it's always fascinating to watch Starmer get sharply challenged by Badenoch? What are your thoughts on Badenoch's role as opposition leader being fearless and making Starmer uneasy? In the comments below, share your favourite moment of Badenoch confronting Starmer. Do you want to see more videos like this? If so, please like and share and subscribe for more updates on British politics and the ongoing changes. Until the next video, stay tuned.